Hello everyone. So we are going to discuss about identifiers. What are identifiers in C sharp? So identifiers are names. Identifiers are names given to identifiers are names given to variables, classes, objects, fields, or methods, etc. Right? Because in C sharp, without creating class, we cannot write a program. So without creating a method, we cannot able to create the logic. Okay, then here the thing is every method require a name, every class require a name, and then every variable require a name. So that name is called as identifier. The name is telling you identify. We are going to identify something. What we are identifying? We are identifying a class with a class name. We are identifying a field with a field name. We are identifying a data with the variable name, right? So that is the use of an identifier. So then identifiers, how to create identifiers, how to create names for variable or class or method or field, whatever it is, and then you need to follow some rules, right? So the first one is identifier cannot start with a number, cannot start with a number. You cannot start a variable or class with a number. So for example, I wanted to create a variable like this, employee 1. It is the correct way. So here this is the digit. So digit came after a letter, right? So but you cannot start a variable name like this, which is a wrong way, because the variable name or identifier, simply we can call it as the identifier. So identifier name started with the digit, so you cannot start identifier name with the digit. This is the first one, but you can use number after a letter, right? So and then second one, keywords cannot be used. Keywords cannot be used. Keywords cannot be used as identifiers. So C sharp is having like 70, around 70 keywords are there. So which are going to be used for specific purpose in your program. You cannot use such keywords as a identifier names. For example, so this equal to 100. So this is a keyword in the C sharp program. You cannot consider this keyword as a variable name, so which is not valid. So keywords cannot be used as identifiers. And then coming to the third one, special characters. Special characters are not allowed into the identifier name. For example, I have a identifier like this, employee name. You can create an identifier like this, but this identifier consisting of two words, one is employee, another one is the name. If you want to separate these words, you cannot use special characters, you cannot use space, you cannot use comma, you cannot use dot also. So what can be used? Only you can use underscore, only you can use underscore, right? So now you can separate these two words with underscore if you want, right? This is the correct way, right? But instead of this underscore, you cannot use space, you cannot use dot, you cannot use comma, right? You cannot use at the rate, you cannot use hash, right? So no other special character is allowed into the identifier name, right? So these are the things which you need to follow when you are creating the identifiers. Okay, and next coming to the variables. What is variable? So variables are named memory locations. Named memory location. because we are going to store data related to the program or data which is going to be used in the program in the memory. Okay, so what are the units of memory? Bytes. Units of memory is bytes, right? What is the starting unit? The starting basic unit is bit, so it may be 1 or 0 generally. So then 8 bits, combination of 8 bits are called as 1 byte. Memory units categorization. Okay, 8 bits are equal to 1 byte. It means that we are going to store, means in the memory, right? Memory will be divided into some slots. Every slot will have a number. That number is called as a memory location or address location, right? So data is going to get stored in the memory locations like this. Now we consider 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, now I am going to store 1 byte of data in the memory. This memory will have some address. This memory will have some address. Okay, this is called as address location of this memory. In this memory, we are going to store some data. What kind of data you can store in memory? Only binary data. So like this 1 0 1 1 0 1 1. Now this is some kind of binary data which can be understandable by the processor, right? So now whatever you are storing in your mobile or in your computer, all the data is going to get converted into binary format. Only that data is going to get stored in the memory, right? So what are the units of memory? Bytes. And then 8 bits equal to 1 byte. And then 1024 bytes, 100 bytes, 200, 300. Now if it reaches to 1024, it is called as 1 kilobyte. Key means kilobyte. Then 1024 kilobytes is called as 1 megabyte. And then 1024 megabytes are called as 1 gigabyte, 1 GB of data. Then 1024 GB is called as 1 terabyte of data. Like this, these are zettabyte, like that. The next units are available, right? So which shows the memory units in the increasing order. Memory units in the increasing order. 1 KB, 1 MB, 1 GB. It depends upon the data, like content means smallest data, largest data. Smallest data requires low memory, largest data requires high memory, right? So and then here allocating memory will be taken care by the one component in the CLR, which is memory manager. So memory manager will deals with this kind of memory allocations. Okay, every memory means wherever the data is going to get stored in the memory, so it will be stored in some particular address location. That address location is called as memory location. Now to that particular address location, this variable is going to get point, right? So here the simply we can say variables are named memory locations used to store data. Used to store data. Means after storing data, if you want to retrieve the data, so only by referring to this variable is going to refer to that address location. If you use that variable, then the data which is stored at that particular location is going to get retrieved, right? So then, for example, I wanted to store some data 100 in a variable A. Now, what kind of data is this? Now here we can consider this data as the integer data. Now 100 is an integer. So a number without a decimal place, without a decimal point is called as an integer. Now 100 is an integer. We are storing this 100 in the memory, right? 100 is going to store at some memory location, in some memory location, right? So this memory location is having some number. Randomly I am writing some number. Now we are going to refer to this address location where 100 is going to get stored with the variable A. But in C sharp is the statically typed. So compulsory you need to specify the type of the data which you are going to store in the variable first. So which is called as type declaration. Type declaration. So type declaration is needed. Type declaration is needed. Now it tells the compiler in the variable A the integer data is going to get stored. So in this way we can able to store data in the variables, right? So here the thing is how much memory it will take. So I said already in the memory data is going to get stored in binary format only. Okay, so slots will be there here 1 0 some randomly I have written, means first of all this 100 should be converted into the binary format, then that binary data is going to get stored in the memory. How many bits it will take, you need to manually we can able to perform operation, right? So then simply I will explain you the process of conversion from integer number to binary. So integer number system and binary number system, binary data. Okay, so we are going to convert a integer number into binary number now. So whenever we are creating integer numbers, in any number you can able to say only these digits 0 to 9. So any number, it may be 1 lakh or it may be 1 crore, it may be trillion or billion, in that number only 0 to 9 digits will exist, right? So count the total number of digits 0 to 9, it will be 10. Actually that number is called as a base of integer number system. Base of integer number system is 10. And then come to the binary data. So binary data, it may be small, it may be large. So binary data will contain only 1 or 0, right? So it may be 1 GB data, it may be 1 TB data. That data will contains only 1 and 0 in it, right? By using only 1 and 0, smallest to largest data will be created in binary system. Okay, then what is the base now? Here only 2 digits will be used, 1 or 0. The base is 2. Base of the binary is 2. Now here the task is convert 0 in the integer to binary. Yes, in binary 0 is available, it is 0. Then in integer 1 is available, in binary 1 is available. But in integer 2 is available. But if you want to store this data 2 in the memory, compulsory this data should be converted in ones and zeros format. How we can convert now? Take this data, integer data, divide this integer data with the base of the binary number system. The base of the binary is 2. So how many times? 1 time, and write down the remainder. So 2 1 2, then the remainder will be 0. Now write down this number from left to right. Now this is the representation of 2 in binary. So how much memory it will take? So 2 bit. Okay, 2 bits are needed to store this data. Okay then. So for example, I have like 10. I wanted to store 10 in the memory, the data 10 in the memory. However, we need to convert. We wanted to know how many bits are required to store this particular data in the memory. So divide this integer number with the base of the binary number system. So 2 5, and then the remainder is 0, 2 2, and the remainder is 1. So 2 1, and the remainder is 0. Now right from bottom to top. So now here 1 0 1 0. Now 10 in integer we can represent in the binary like this. To store this data, to store 10 in the memory, how many bits we require? We require 4 bits. So like this, if the number is increasing, the number of bits will also increase. It may cross 1 byte, it may cross 2 bytes, 3 bytes, 4 bytes. So depending upon that memory, these data types are categorized. In the next class, we will discuss what are the different data types which is going to store the numbers depending upon the size.